At my mom's funeral, the casket fell and a note slipped out revealing a crypto wallet with millions hidden in my bedroom wall. They say funerals are supposed to bring closure, but nothing about my mother's funeral felt finished. It was cold that morning, mid-January, and the ground at St. Agnes Cemetery was frozen solid. We stood in silence, our breath visible in the air, watching the men lower her into the earth. I was shivering, not just from the cold, but from everything we'd been through. We had nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'd spent the last year eating beans and rice, sharing a one-bedroom apartment with my little brother after Mom's cancer treatments drained what was left of our savings. She never had a will, no life insurance, just piles of hospital bills and an old Bible filled with pressed flowers and guilt. I loved her, but I hated her too, for being so secretive, for never letting us in, for leaving us like this. Broke and broken. And then the casket dropped, not into the grave, but off the mechanical straps that held it. One of the supports gave way, and the casket tumbled to the side with a dull, sickening thud. Everyone gasped. A couple of men rushed over. One of the pallbearers tried to lift it back up, when something strange happened. A piece of paper slid out from a crack near the coffin's lid and drifted in the wind like some dramatic movie moment. It landed right at my feet. I bent down and picked it up. It was a yellowed envelope. My name was written on it. Just my name, Nathan. My fingers trembled. I glanced around, half expecting someone to stop me from opening it. But no one even noticed. The priest was saying something. My aunt was crying into a handkerchief. I slid the envelope into my coat pocket and stood there, heart pounding like it knew something I didn't. Later that night, after putting my brother to bed and microwaving a cheap frozen lasagna, I finally opened the envelope. Inside was a note, handwritten. If you're reading this, then I'm gone. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you. There's something hidden in the wall behind your bookshelf. It's yours now. Trust no one. The world is darker than you think, Mom. I stared at it for a long time, wondering if this was some sick joke. She never talked like that. Trust no one? What did that even mean? But I still went into my room, pulled the bookshelf away from the wall. There, behind the drywall, was a square cut into the plaster. Barely noticeable. I ran my fingers along the edge, found a groove, and popped it open like a secret compartment in some mystery novel. There it was, a matte black rectangle, cold, clean, a crypto cold wallet. My throat tightened. I plugged it into my old laptop and followed the prompts. There was a single Ethereum address with a balance. I had to squint. $2,187,054.93. I almost dropped the damn thing. We were poor. Like food bank poor. My mom worked 2 jobs, never smiled, and always said, money is the devil's game. And she'd been sitting on over $2 million. Suddenly, I remembered something else she always said when I asked why she worked so hard. Some things are bigger than survival, Nathan. I didn't understand it then. I still wasn't sure I understood now. But something told me this. This wallet wasn't just money. It was a message, a warning, a door that was never supposed to open. And now I had the key. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling until 4 a.m., the cold wallet clutched in my hand under the blanket, like it might vanish if I let go. Over $2 million. My mother, who used to scold me for buying name-brand cereal, had been hiding a fortune in crypto in our wall. And she never used a cent. I kept reading the note over and over again. Trust no one. That line stuck in my brain like a splinter. What was she so afraid of? Why keep this money hidden while we lived like ghosts? The next morning, I called in sick to my dead-end grocery store job and pulled out her old photo box. Mom wasn't big on pictures, but she kept a few in an old shoebox under her bed. I remembered the box from when I was a kid. I used to sneak it out and look at her younger self, laughing with strangers I didn't know. She never let me ask questions. Now I had questions. I dunked the box onto the floor. There was one photo that stopped me cold. A man I'd never seen before, standing beside Mom. He was tall, sharply dressed, with an expensive-looking watch and a hand on her lower back. Not in a friend kind of way. They were outside what looked like a government building. She looked younger, but tired, eyes guarded. In the background, the top of a gold-plated sign said Bureau something. I flipped the photo over. A date scribbled on the back, Jan 8th, 2003, the year I was born. I didn't recognize the man. Not from our family, not from anywhere. I went to my laptop, plugged in the cold wallet again, and did something I should have done earlier. I checked the transaction history. Mom didn't buy this crypto recently. She'd been sitting on it since 2013. Back then, it was worth a few $100, but she never touched it, never moved it, never withdrew a cent, except for one transaction, October 11th, 2018, 2XF31B6C9, amount $4,200, a single transaction, just one. I copied the address and ran it through a crypto scanner. It pinged back to another wallet. This one was active. Someone was still moving small amounts, but regularly, laundered, split across new wallets, textbook money cleaning. Who was she paying? And for what? My stomach dropped. The note. Trust no one. I opened her closet. I didn't know what I was looking for. Maybe nothing. Maybe something. But then, behind her coats, I found a small, locked metal box I'd never seen before. I took it out and pried it open with a screwdriver. Inside, a cheap prepaid phone wrapped in duct tape. It still had some battery left. There were 3 texts in the inbox, all from a contact saved as "do not reply." Any updates on the target? Status? You're making a mistake. We're watching. I froze. Target? Watching? What the hell was going on? Then the doorbell rang. I nearly jumped out of my skin. It was 6:42 a.m. I peeked through the peephole. A man in a navy blue jacket. Tall, clean-cut, government-type energy. Not a neighbor. He rang again, and again. Then he slipped a white envelope through the mail slot and walked away. I waited a full 10 minutes before picking it up. No return address. Inside was a single printed note. We know what you found. Do not access the wallet again. This is your only warning. I stared at the words until they blurred. My hands were shaking. Someone knew, and they were watching me. I didn't leave the apartment for 3 days. I kept the curtains shut, disconnected the Wi-Fi. I even covered the peephole with duct tape, like that would somehow stop whoever sent that letter from watching. The cold wallet stayed in my backpack, zipped up and buried under clothes in the closet. My brother Liam kept asking what was wrong. I lied, said I had the flu. But inside, I was unraveling. That last text, "You're making a mistake. We're watching." That envelope, "Do not access the wallet again." This wasn't just about money. On the 4th night, I remembered something. Back when Mom got really sick, she'd sometimes talk in her sleep. Usually nonsense. But once, I'd heard her say a name. Ava. It stuck with me. She never mentioned anyone named Ava while she was awake. I searched her emails, her papers. Nothing. Then I checked the crypto wallet again, against my better judgment. And there it was. The wallet she had transferred that $4,200 to 5 years ago. Its label now said, Ava Safe 2, Safe. I copied the address and ran it through a deeper scan using a blockchain explorer. It was connected to a cluster of other wallets. One of them had a name linked to a whistleblower database, Ava Harmon. I clicked the report. Former NSA analyst turned whistleblower Ava Harmon disappeared in 2019. Last seen with alleged access to encrypted datasets related to Project Gardenfire. Project what? The document was heavily redacted, but one paragraph stood out. Subject allegedly obtained access to covert files regarding long-term financial manipulation campaigns via blockchain assets. Involving current and former U.S. officials, it hit me like a freight train. My mom wasn't just hiding money. She was hiding evidence, and she'd hidden it in plain sight, in our bedroom wall, behind a bookshelf no one ever moved. I suddenly realized why she worked so hard, why she lived like she had nothing, why she looked over her shoulder constantly. The money wasn't for us, not really. It was leverage, insurance, a failsafe. She was protecting us from something massive. But now she was gone, and they knew I had the wallet. That night, I told my little brother to pack a bag. I said we were going on a trip, and he didn't ask questions. He trusted me. He always had. I transferred the funds, all of them, to a brand new cold wallet I picked up from a pawn shop 2 towns over. Burned the old one. I used $300 in Bitcoin to buy us 2 bus tickets under fake names to a quiet town in Vermont. We stayed at a cheap motel for a week while I figured out what to do. I didn't sleep much. I kept picturing Mom standing in the hallway, whispering, "Some things are bigger than survival." I thought she was being poetic. Now I knew better. On the 8th day, I got a call on a burner phone I'd picked up. No number, just static. Then a voice. "Nathan, if you're hearing this, you're braver than I was." It was a recording. Her voice. Mom. She had pre-recorded a message. "You were never supposed to find the note. But if you did, it means I didn't make it." That cold wallet doesn't just have money. It has something encrypted inside. Something people would kill for. Literally. Don't try to open it alone. Find Ava. She'll know what to do. And whatever you do, don't trust anyone who says they're trying to help. Not the police. Not the government. Not family. No one. My heart was pounding. I looked at Liam. He was watching cartoons on the motel TV, eating cereal out of a paper bowl. He had no idea our lives were dangling by a thread. I found Ava. It took weeks, but I found her, living under a fake name in Iceland. I sent her the wallet through an encrypted network under a ridiculous amount of cyber protection. She got it, and she messaged back only 2 words. She was right. I never heard from her again. But months later, a massive leak hit the news. A financial scandal involving crypto manipulation, several government resignations, and the start of the largest investigation in modern U.S. history. They never mentioned my mom, or me, but I like to think she knew that was the only way she could win. Quietly, from the shadows. She didn't want glory. She just wanted to protect us. We still live under new names now. The millions? I gave most of it away. To whistleblower protection funds, to Ava's contacts, to the right people. I kept just enough to build a small life with my brother in a safe place. My mom used to say, "Money is the devil's game." Maybe. But sometimes the devil leaves the light on and hides it in the wall behind your bookshelf.